Welcome to Mountain Water's instructional video on quilling. This is quilling paper. This is how you will usually receive quilling paper, whether you're ordering online or buying it within the crafting stores. And I'm going to be using a lighter color instead of this dark deep red, because the lighter colors, like this pale blue, will show up better on the video. So let's get started with that. I have split a very long piece of quilling paper in half right here, and then I'm going to split it in half again to make small little circles out of the quilling paper first. We're going to go counterclockwise on twisting your tool to make the paper go around it. This is what it should look like when you're done. And then you just pull it off of the tool and you start a new one. Continually going counterclockwise around the tool, you will eventually become circular to this. Then, after you have glued it, using the wax paper, you put glue and then you set these on there. The wax paper makes it easier for once these are glued to pull them off of the paper. You don't really need a lot of glue for this because it's a very small dot of glue that you will need because it'll stick very easily. Then you can pinch it to making a leaf, such as this one, or a different shape by pinching the paper and then squishing the bottom. Those are two different styles of leaf. Now these are easier for flowers that do not have a center. These leaves are much better for making ones with a center. For a center, you take a yellow or a dark and yellow and orangish color, twisting in that counterclockwise manner until you begin to get the circle again, except this time you want it to be a little bit tighter than a loose circle. And then you glue it so that you just have the circle. I have two now, which I'm going to start to use to make one flower. I'm only going to use one center, and I'm going to make more of the leaves, twisting in the counterclockwise manner with all of this little paper. Now sometimes it's very hard to get identical leaves in shape. You can measure the paper as much as you want, but it's still hard to make it so that they're identical in size. But you don't always want them to be identical in size. Depending on what style of flower or what kind of flower you're making, you're going to want different shaped leaves. Now I have found that it is easier when you're picking up the little pieces to use needle-nosed pliers, so that it's easier so that you don't glue yourself to the little pieces of paper. Now you're going to dip the end of the little petal into the glue and glue it to the center. just like this. where you start to have a flower form. Now this takes some practice, so you're going to want to get a little bit of quilling, a little bit more than just 1 or 2 strands of quilling paper. The paper itself is very delicate with twisting, so you have to be very cautious on how you twist it, because the paper takes shape very, very easily. We continually pinch once we're done, and make sure to glue it or else it'll all come apart. Now I'm just using regular school glue to glue this with, because it's just as easy as any other kind of glue. There is a small slit on this tool for quilling so that you can easily hold the paper so that it doesn't slip when you're twisting. And now we've almost got a full flower. You'll need about 1 or 2 more petals for this flower. It's a very simple, delicate little flower. It looks lovely on any kind of thing, like a little card like we're going to place on it in a few moments. Oops. Oops. That didn't work as well as I had hoped. There we go. And now we have finished 1 full flower. This flower is actually 6 petals, and it's very easy for a beginning lesson, but next we're going to place it on just a small little cardstock card that I have cut out and folded so that it will fit in a small envelope. Now we take our tweezers. This may or may not be dry yet, but that's okay. Nope, it's not dry. But we can still fix it we can dab a tiny bit of glue on the back of it, place the half that was glued together on the card, and glue these back on to the paper so that we have a little flower on our little card. This can work as a gift tag or just a little reminder